Hello there, Vic Benedict here. We're playing Gears of War 3 on the Series X, and this is my insane difficulty guide and walkthrough. We're currently on Act 2-2. It is entitled House of Sand. That conversation you can skip right there, thankfully. We have a fight with a corpser up here. There is, there is a sawed-off shotgun over here if you want to. If you want to have that. You can chainsaw this thing. But on insane difficulty, you'll have to put enough damage onto its body before you can't just chainsaw it and have it get killed unless you've already fired at it enough. So the idea is to get around it, shoot it on the side or on its back. You can't shoot it when it's stabbing up from the ground. So put enough damage on it as you can. And I don't particularly like fighting this enemy, but did you see how it just taunted right there? That's the moment when you can chainsaw it. And yeah, this enemy, I've never found these enemies particularly fun to fight. They're too defensive, and I don't like any enemy that just takes a long time to come up from, whatever it's doing, its shenanigans, to get over to you. And then there's one guy over here. I'm not sure what he does. He seems to carry a box of ammo into this area. And then on this next part, you've got just a potpourri spread of Therons and tickers, a grinder, and a digger. So it's nice that they give you a checkpoint down here because it's really easy to get killed by the digger, even over here around the corner. Just watch out for the tickers. There's not an infinite amount of them, so that's thankful. There's also one particularly mean, I don't know if you would call it mean, but it's just this game is full of scenarios that are a little bit unfair as far as your placement in them. But you need to be careful because of this grinder. I was almost put to death there. And here he is over here. You can just shoot around the cover. And then as you approach the door over here, you're going to get a cutscene, another considerate checkpoint. And then you're going to be fighting Therons with cleavers, shotguns, and hammer bursts. So I have yet to do a cleaver only run, but I do plan on getting to that eventually. I'm just using the cleaver. And if you want to, you can take this mulcher over to the door, checkpoint yourself with it, but it's not necessary in the slightest. Check around this area. Oh, here's a genuine horn winder right here. Check around this area for incendiary grenades because they would really come in handy on the next part. Sometimes the abseilers drop them. Not any of these enemies over here, but there's a couple of enemies that abseil down from a cliff on the next part, and they sometimes drop incendiaries. And one of the reasons that this part can be hard is if you choose what I would say is the less advantageous path. Now it's not a fork in the road. I didn't even know you can come down here. This is a really good spot. But you can go into this battle from two different paths, and I've always had a lot harder of a time doing all of this that you're going to be required to do going on the left path. The right path is just it's not that the digger can't reach you, because he certainly can. It's just that there's less room to move on the left side, and it just seems like you get rushed a lot more, and it's really common for your teammates to get overrun on this part if you're going on the right. So just count on that. Count on potentially getting overrun on this next part. if you're going on the right side. On the left, I've not got overrun. I'm sorry. On the left path, I've not had my teammates fall in combat, but they seem to fall a lot, and it's probably me, not killing enemies quickly enough or something. But you do need to be careful. And the shittiest part about this fight is that you have to run a long way over to it. There's artillery fire that will kill you if you don't consistently do your roadie run over here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shoot one of the... See, you don't want to go over to the left. You want to hang over here to the right. I mean, you could try it if you want to, but it's just really rough, it seems, on that side. But I'm going to shoot one of the gas tanks over here. And the digger is going to come on the heels of these tickers over here. So thankfully there's a set number of tickers, and it's not that many. But you see this digger, he really needs to go fast. He needs to be your biggest priority. But you have a lot more wiggle room over here to move around. And the enemies don't seem to come over here too much. Whereas on the other side, they come from in front of you, behind you. You've got tickers, you've got the digger, and here, see how all the teammates are done. So we're gonna have a lot of enemies that are just focusing on us now until I start picking up my teammates over here. So if I had some incendiaries, this would be a lot better, because if enemies start to pull up over here, I could have used those flames. This would have been a good opportunity to do that. I really appreciate how you don't have to pick up your teammates. It's really nice. But just be careful, because, when you're in this kind of position, and everybody's going to be focusing on you. But yeah, the digger, he has to go. He really is a problem. Anytime there's a digger, there's a problem. And if you want to, you can go on the turret. Sometimes I've been on there and just got completely shredded, even when there's just a couple of enemies left. But I might go on it just for variety's sake. So there's a couple of enemies left, these Therons down there. And okay, so the next chapter, I'm going to show you how to do the stealth aspect of it. It's not a fork in the road. It's just that if you want to make noise, you're going to have a big fight, and if you want to do it stealthily, you can do that too. I would recommend having the hammer burst for the long range targets. You can, I believe there's a long shot at the end of this stage if you want to bring that into it, but the reload takes a long time with the long shot, and you have to be particularly accurate with it. Whereas with the hammer burst, you can just zoom in. There's no reticle bloom, and it's good for long range, and it's good for killing some of the targets that we'll have to deal with. So what I would recommend going into the next stage, I would select the hammer burst and the retrolancer, and as many grenades as you possibly can. And then on this turkey gun over here, this is optional if you want to go on here. It does speed up the fight. You get 3 shots with it, and unfortunately there's a door to the left that gets in the way, so I'm not sure why they would have it like that, but it definitely gets in the way. You can't see very well. And then as you come up here, your teammates are going to tell you to flank the enemies. So you can, but just be careful, because there's another digger over here. And just, the digger can go through anything, so you need to roll out of the way as much as possible and prioritize him as best as you possibly can. Look at that, there's no reticle bloom with the hammer burst, even in this mode. When you're holding it down, I think if you tap it fast, you get reticle bloom. But I remember on Gears of War 4 or 5, there was an option to take that off, have no reticle bloom. but this game doesn't extend you those same courtesies. Then again, it's a far better game. And also, whatever you die with on this game, they checkpoint you with it. So if you are wanting to start a fight and not have to fuss with switching any of your weapons, you'll want to checkpoint yourself holding that weapon so that you don't have to change the weapon every time. It's only for when you want to do things really quickly. I don't know why I thought I could get away with charging this guy, but it just didn't work. And fortunately I didn't die. But the next area up there pretty much has infinite ammo and a lot of different weapons to choose from. And one of them is a long shot, I think. So if you want the long shot, you can have that. But max out your grenades. I don't do it over here. Because I just wasn't thinking. I think I already had two. Yeah, I had 2 flames, so that was fine by me. But yeah, whatever you want to take into the next chapter. I would recommend the hammer burst, though. It's more helpful, I think. And it just has more... has less consideration for being inaccurate and less necessity for being like dead accurate. So I will see you in 2-3. For 2-2, this has been Vic Benedict. Until then, please take care.